Hello everybody, my name is Stacia and I'm just a girl on the internet that likes to talk about movies. And this week's movie is going to be the 1936 follow-up to The Thin Man called After the Thin Man, which still stars William Powell and Myrna Loy as Nick and Nora Charles, along with their dog Asta, who is also played in this one by a dog named Skippy. This follow-up is still directed by W.S. Van Dyke and was still a huge hit at the box office and a critical darling. And although not nominated for Best Picture or any of the other awards, it was still nominated at the Academy Awards in 1937 for Best Screenplay. And After the Thin Man is considered one of the best movie sequels there is. Not as good as the original. We don't have a Godfather 1 or 2 situation where people fight which one was best. But this is a worthy follow-up to a great first film. So in this one, you have James, or Jimmy Stewart, as most of us know him, as the character of David Graham, and it also stars Elissa Landi as Selma Landis. You have Nick and Nora Charles back in San Francisco, expecting to have a quiet New Year's in their home in San Francisco when another murder happens. In this case, they go to Nora's family's New Year's Eve party, and her cousin Selma is there. Her husband has been missing for a few days, and he turns up murdered. And of course, who is accused of the murder? Selma herself. So Nick takes on the case to help clear Selma's name from the murder. And in After the Thin Man, Jimmy Stewart is Selma's friend, David Graham, who kind of secretly pines for her, although she is married. So is he a suspect for the murder of her husband? Is Jimmy Stewart playing a bad guy in this movie? Can you believe Jimmy Stewart as a bad guy in the movie? Would Jimmy Stewart ever murder anybody? Is it a good cover-up for David Graham, Jimmy Stewart's character, to aid in the investigation of her husband's murder, to help cover up his feelings for Selma and kind of get it in with her in the future? And yes, so this one takes place around New Year's. So this is my kind of transitional, like the first Thin Man movie was my transitional out of Christmas movies because it takes place during Christmas time. This is my transition into the New Year's because After the Thin Man takes place during New Year's. And this movie was by and large filmed on the back lot of MGM Studios in Culver City, California again, although there are some shots that are actually in San Francisco, especially to establish the location because San Francisco is such an iconic looking city. And After the Thin Man is also the longest movie in the Thin Man series. It clocks in at 152 minutes, where the first ones and the ones after that clock in from like an hour and a half, but still, by today's standards, hour and 52-minute movie doesn't seem too long. And yes, this is still a 1930s film. It's still within 10 years of the advent of the talkie pictures, so the sound is still not quite what we expect of sound standards today. It's a very old movie. It's almost 90 years old. So you are going to have those technical difficulties. The film could benefit, like the original Thin Man, from being cleaned up for film preservation. I'm kind of shocked that the quality of the film prints that you can find for The Thin Man, that it hasn't really been targeted for film preservation. I mean, a little bit, but it's still not what you think of when you've seen other films from around the time, how much they've been cleaned up. So I behoove people to, especially with the first movie, The Thin Man, to think about maybe cleaning up the prints and the sounds for the Thin Man. Unless I'm just missing it and they are available, but this was what was available to me, and there are, I mean, granted, they're 90-year-old movies, so there are going to be issues. But especially with the first one being on the National Film Registry, you think it would, at this point, be one targeted for more preservation. And the Thin Man during the time was made for about $686,000, which is a huge budget for the 1930s. But it made almost $3.2 million at the box office, so that investment for these Thin Man movies is paying off for MGM Studios. And the public was excited to see Myrna Loy and William Powell together on screen again, although they were great friends off screen. They never had any romantic relationship, although the public really, really wanted them to have a real relationship off screen as well. I mean, and when I say a real relationship, I mean a real romantic relationship. The public was pining for them to be together. And just a little bit of trivia for you. If you ever liked Young Frankenstein or Monty Python, you know the old joke of you have like a butler or somebody comes in, they walk weird, and they say, "Walk this way." That joke actually began with After the Thin Man. Aunt Catherine's old butler has a unsteady walk, and when they greet Nick Charles, he says, "Walk this way, sir," and Nick follows by copying his walk. For comedy. So for people that love movie history and the links between older and newer movies, there is one for you. A gag that never gets old. So if you haven't watched the first Thin Man yet, or if you have watched it, it makes a great double feature, especially during this time of year. You can watch the original Thin Man, which takes place during Christmas time, and then you can watch the first sequel of the Thin Man, After the Thin Man, that takes place during New Year's. It's a great double feature. Or if you have watched The Thin Man and never seen this one or haven't seen it in a long time, you should really check out After the Thin Man from 1936. It really holds up as a sequel to the first movie. Like I said, it is considered one of the greatest movie sequels of all time. So as the first movie of the new year that I'm reviewing, I thought this was fitting for that scenario. I would love for you to check it out. Tell me what you think. If you like these Thin Man series, I know older films during the 1930s are not the most popular, but if you're a fan of film and you're younger, you should really check them out. They're quite a education in film history. And like I said, I think it holds up today. I love the relationship and the banter between Nick and Nora Charles, their love of their dog Asta. It really fits in. I think their relationship and everything fits into modern day sensibilities. So thank you everybody for joining me this week. We're in a new year. I hope everybody has a great 2025. I made it to over 650 subscribers last year. So this year I'm seeing if I can make it to 1,000 subscribers. And if you love the movies and this type of content and talking about film, I encourage you to give my channel a chance. Give me a subscription, a little like, thumbs up, and comment. I love the comments section. I love responding to the comments, and I love to get your guys' opinion on the movies that I am discussing and your suggestions for other movies. Whether you agree with my opinion or not, all opinions are welcome here, and I believe that we can have a respectful conversation about all kinds of movies. But thank you so much for joining me. I love you all. See you next time. Bye.